and welcome to Cylinder Tracker Lesson 4. Do you want cylinder control? What is your method of cylinder control? Do you have one? Do you have some way of controlling your cylinders so that anyone off the street coming to your facility has access to your cylinders? You need some way of controlling them. Otherwise, you will never be able to maintain cylinder control, and you will always continually lose cylinders. And at $700 odd each at a replacement cost, it gets very expensive for not controlling them. So a little bit of control can go a long way. Once you've lost these cylinders, someone takes one, you don't know it till after the fact. So consequently, you waste a lot of time and effort, stress, frustrations, the whole lot goes with trying to track these things down. And then you've got to turn around after that and explain to management where they've gone and why they've disappeared. It just, the whole thing builds on you. And yes, there's an easy and quick way of resolving this and sorting it out. The most effective way I found was to create a compound to control the movements of your cylinders. I mean, this is a fenced, locked compound. Now, you don't have to go overboard and be a control freak, but what you do need to do is control the movement of those cylinders in and out of your facility so that you can actually identify and track where they've gone, when they've come back, when they've been returned to the supplier, the whole lot. Once you've been able to do that, that's probably 50 to 75% of reducing your cylinder loss, cylinder costs, and actually saving money. Because once you can track them and you know what's gone where and what's come back, it's very simple to do audits, the whole lot, and follow the system through. It's just a case then of just plugging it into the software and it will track it for you. But you need that point of control. If you don't have that dedicated location from which you issue and receive cylinders, how are you ever going to track your cylinder movements accurately? You won't. You just can't. When selecting an area to establish your compound, there's a few things you need to consider. One, it needs to be in a convenient location. Now, most companies won't have someone dedicated that's totally looking after that compound. So there's a few things you can do to alleviate the problem and allow people that need access to the compound to actually be able to get cylinders. I mean, you can leave a key someplace, you can have a board there where they can write down, or you can have a scanner setting out there, or give them the scanner when they get the key and let them enter the data that you need, capture that data. If they write it on a board, you can come back later with a scanner, punch in that information, and then download it to the system. There's several ways you can do it. You just have to work out the way that's best for you, but you have to take a responsible approach toward it. Once you've decided on that location, next thing you need to look at is forklift access. Now, you're offloading pallets of gas, you've got to have a forklift to do it. As simple as that. So make sure you have an area that you can access with a forklift. Cylinder separation is another one. Within that compound, there's certain requirements under dangerous goods legislation that certain types of gas have to be separated by a certain distance. They have to be certain distance away from buildings unless they're a certain type wall. It gets very, very complicated. So spend the time, find out, but you may even need to get a consultant in that specializes in dangerous goods legislation to help you lay out your compound so that you do meet regulatory requirements, and then you don't get fined once again for not complying, even though you've done the right thing, but you haven't taken it far enough. So just you may well want to get a consultant in to help you with that. I found it. I had to. because of the location and the quantities. The other thing you have to have is a license for the dangerous goods that you're holding. Up to a certain amount, you need a certain license. After that, you've got to have different licenses. So, and this will depend on where you're at and your jurisdictions. Okay. The other area that needs to be included in that is once you've got your area fenced, you got your placards on it, and you're ready to put gas into it, you then need to contact whoever is within the organization that looks after your emergency plan, and you need to have this area included on that emergency plan and your emergency plan updated. That way, if there's ever a situation arises where you've got a fire or whatever, your emergency services personnel can come in, they can access the plan, they can tell from it the location of your cylinder holdings and what quantities roughly they can expect and the type of gases that are there. So from that, then they can not endanger themselves, but they also know how to approach the situation to make sure that they handle it in the safest, most efficient manner they can. Maintaining control of your gas cylinders. You know, like I said before, it's not feasible in virtually any company to have one dedicated person for that. So train your staff. Train the people utilizing your gas, accessing that gas. It takes nothing to do it. In all honesty, the return you get, it's just the way you approach it. So that's where we're at with this one. That should see the end of lesson 4. But these are the little bits and pieces we want to cover as we go along. These are all important little steps that you need to address as you go along to establish an effective and reliable gas cylinder tracking system. So from there, we will look forward to speaking with you in lesson 5, and that's a very interesting one in itself, and that's to deal with dangerous goods. So we look forward to seeing you in lesson 5. Thank you.